Intuition is a dangerous thing. Humankind has long sought answers, the truth about the stars, ourselves, and all of our reality. Reality defies understanding. Humankind takes shortcuts, leaps in logic, guesswork, acceptance of truths unproven. Reality defies understanding. We use our greatest asset, our intuition, to see the forest without the trees. Overconfidence is a killer. Like a predator evolved to avoid the notice of its prey, the greatest dangers to humanity lurk above and outside of our perception. Reality defies understanding. Yet we try anyways. Intuition is a dangerous thing. Last time, y'all brought Billy to the hospital. He took some convincing, but you got him there eventually with promises that you would speak with Merle today about potentially Billy getting that job he's been really hoping to get in town. And the doctors released him the next morning with a clean bill of health. They didn't find anything strange about him, they didn't find anything wrong, or if they did, they're not telling you. Let's just stoke those flames of paranoia a little bit. Instead, after that lead didn't really go anywhere, and I mean, you saved Billy's life, but it hasn't really gotten you anything else, you decided to investigate a few other things around town. And you started with that farmhouse you were at the previous night. Or actually, more specifically, you went to speak with Scott Adams first. And just to see what he was up to, see if you could get any more detail out of him, maybe you could understand his notes a little bit better without revealing to him that, you know, you have his notes from the future. And so... That was loud, sorry. I've been stunned. And so... What was I saying? God damn it. Scott Adams, thank you. Scott Adams was, you spoke with him and he realized you had seen something last night. You told him you saw something last night. You saw a UFO, you saw aliens, you saved someone from being abducted. And he immediately had to go to that location. He would not let you guys get away with not telling him the location. He got it out of you. He drove over there. He was not taking no for an answer. And so you all went over there with him, hoping you can find out more along the way. Maybe you'll find some details yourselves. You kind of wanted to investigate that place anyways, but you've probably got to keep poor Scott Adams from, you know, uncovering too much of the truth here. And uncover some truth you did. Hematite climbed up into the barn of this place as the outer doors on the first floor were all locked in some way, and saw that the inside of this barn was coated with some kind of epoxy-like material, almost organic looking, or almost like dirt or some kind of natural substance of that nature, completely coating the inside of this building. Also covered with various molds and other like organic bits and pieces that looked like maybe flesh or muscles or various like bits of sea creatures and things all around here. Nothing here really looked artificial in the way that humans make it, but it looked intentionally created, just out of biological materials pretty much exclusively. You saw tubes full of strange fluids. You saw a person's body floating in one of them. You saw machines with blinking lights and what appeared to be a surgery table with straps on it to hold someone down. And you saw a bunch of little gray men walking around, tapping on things, getting ready to pull that body out of the tube it was in. And that's pretty much where we left off. All of you were going to bring Scott Adams over to the house instead of the barn, try to divert his attention a little bit, and make sure he does not go in that barn at any cost. In the meantime, Hunter has been assembling a flamethrower to potentially burn that whole barn down. So, the rest of you are headed towards the house, which I don't know if anyone's actually stepped into yet.
We have
I believe
not.
the door
It
was locked. Yes.
Yes.
So, you've got Scott Adams in tow. He is reluctantly coming with you. What are you gonna do?
Um, I like to try and pick the lock on the front door. Uh, tr- just try and get in because clearly we're here to investigate. There's nobody around.
Okay.
It's we already saw it's pretty abandoned.
So I remember looking into this case to see what lockpicking would be in this system. And I had previously made a ruling on it that I don't think is completely accurate, and I don't remember if it was in a one shot or during this campaign. But after looking into the book more, being able to like hotwire cars, pick locks, that kind of thing, are special skills you'd want to be trained in, like
Mhm.
custom skills, and otherwise we can fall back on like maybe one of your stats and just give you a pretty harsh penalty to it. But yeah, so
In that case,
if
we'll just be kicking the door down.
all right, kicking the door down works. That takes a lot less skill and just a lot more weight and power. So I think that sounds like athletics to me.
Alrighty. Athletics. Ew.
Well, you tried to kick the door down, but it appears, though this building may be abandoned, it's sturdier than it looks. Dust comes flying off the door and the door frame as you kick it, but door does not break down.
Are there any windows at body height that I can try to see if they're unlocked?
Sure, you can walk around and inspect for windows. Give me a luck check. Just a flat
Luck.
D100 failure. Okay. All the windows on the first floor are locked. Yeah. You could break one,
Let's
but you can't slide them open easily.
hmm, breaking one sounds fun.
Give me an athletics check if you are going to go through that.
Man,
I am not going to go through with that.
Yeah, unlucky. So, I'm gonna say in this case, the failure isn't that you don't break the window; it's that you get injured breaking the window. Because I feel like if you are really dead set on breaking a window, there's not much that's gonna stop you. It's just a matter of doing it, somewhat safely. So I'm gonna say you find a nearby rock, you throw it at this window, attempting to really just break into it. Noise be damned. You just want to get into this building. You're pretty sure no one's home. It looks extremely abandoned. Whatever. Um, doesn't make any sense that somebody would be home with all these aliens nearby, but so you find this rock, you chuck it through the window. It takes a bunch of strength because you find a really big one. And when it hits the window, some of the shards of glass just kind of fly out in your direction. You weren't quite backed up all the way, and maybe even when you reach into the window to unlock it from the inside, you get cut a little bit on the edges. You're gonna take 2 hit points of damage.
I mean, it makes sense because think this is the day that I'm tired,
I think so.
so I'm not
oh,
thinking
that's
straight.
right. He's also tired.
I think it's high tide and hematite.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So, any yelps of pain? Are you just gonna take it? Are you headed into the window that you've now opened? What's the next step?
I would probably just like wince in pain, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and then be like, "Hey guys, we have a window open."
All right, what's inside? Just kind of
All right. We'll say you
try to
enter
avoid the
into.
broken glass.
Yeah, fair enough. I feel like once you got it open, you can probably reach in, unlock it, slide it up the rest of the way, and then you just have to worry about the glass on the floor and all that. But um, you guys get in, and maybe one of you goes to open the front door.
Yeah, that was my
Because
thought.
yeah, climbing through the window repeatedly is just, even when it's open, it's not an easy thing to do usually. Um, So one of you goes in, you open the front door, and the rest of you follow. This place is, like the outside suggested, extremely abandoned. Can everybody give me, or just tell me their alertness scores real quick? Everybody who's at the
41.
house. Thank you.
53.
51.
Okay. So I think Hematite and Hollow, or I guess Hematite, you're tired today as well, right? So yours would actually be more like a 30 something, right? So Hollow, you
No,
notice.
is it?
Sorry, what?
Oh, it's. Are you? Did you roll to try and be under, or?
No, sometimes some checks are more about what your score total is rather than a die roll. It's less luck and more
Okay.
just your character's raw stats. So with a 20% penalty, that would be a 31, right? Because you're a 51?
21.
21, okay. Thank you. So, Hallow then, the highest of the bunch, you do notice as like everyone else is climbing inside and getting the door unlocked and starting to look around inside, Scott Adams has started to sneak away. He's not like hiding, he's just kind of slowly departing and wandering off.
Hey, Scott, come see what's inside here.
It seems like as soon as you catch him at all, he just gives in and comes back over. He's not gonna like book it or anything. It's like he kind of grumbles to himself a little bit and then heads inside with you. Inside, you all can see, yeah, this place is extremely abandoned. There's cobwebs everywhere. Everything's covered in a layer of dust. But it looks abandoned in the way that a building is abandoned when somebody moves out of it intentionally and nobody ever moves back in. It doesn't look like it was suddenly abandoned or the owners were suddenly killed or kidnapped or anything. It's just like there's no furniture anywhere. All the rooms are just eerily empty. Everything, like I said, coated in dust. There's no food anywhere you can see. There's no like silverware. Nothing is kept here. There's just empty cabinets. There's no tables. Nothing. It's all just empty here on this first floor. You see what could have been a living room originally, and a hallway and some steps leading up deeper into the house, a kitchen at the back, and a maybe a place where a dining room table could go near the kitchen, but it's just empty now. But yeah, it appears no one has lived here in many months.
Poking around. Is there a second story or like a cellar or anything also?
Yeah, there's definitely both. There's in the middle of the house. There's a staircase leading up, and then a door around the other side with a staircase leading down, kind of occupying the same vertical space.
Who wants to go up? Who wants to go down?
I'll go up.
I mean, we could just make trips and stay as a group.
Also a good idea. Scott, which one are you more interested in, do you think? Where's a bigger scoop? You're the one with more experience.
He thinks to himself a little bit. Well, I guess upstairs.
Upstairs works for me.
Can I have my camera back, by the way?
Oh,
We
yeah.
could give it back, but yeah.
All right. Thank you. And he heads upstairs.
While we're heading up the stairs, I would probably ask him, "Hey Scott, you've been here a while. Do you know anything about who owned this or how long they've been gone?"
No, I don't know anything about this place really. I've been around this area a couple times. This was not far from a couple other strange incidents.
All right, so this is your first time being here in particular?
I've never been to this residence. No. Like I said, there's all sorts of weird activity around here. Some of their neighbors, I guess. think it was a few days ago. Somebody had um, but it was something. It was a cow that was like it had no udder. Weird. There was some crop circles on a farm a few miles down that way as well. Anyways, never been here. No.
The crop circle look like? Was it just your run of the mill, you know, circles and stuff, or was it like a design that um, could have been an attempt at communication?
Well, I didn't see the first one. Um, this Lorraine fella called me in and told me about it, but that's what got me to drive out here. But regrettably, it was sort of the weather had kind of gotten rid of it by the time I was back here. But there was another one just a couple days ago. Um, I mean, I don't really know any other way to describe it than a crop circle. It was a circle, and where the crops were all just kind of beaten down, and there wasn't really any area around it where like a vehicle would have gone in or out to beat the crops down as a track to get there or anything. I don't know. It was a circle.
You
I don't
know,
know.
sometimes
Maybe
like more elaborate crop circle type things. I was kind of curious if it was one of those.
no. It was a really simple circle, maybe 15, 20 feet across. It wasn't like anything crazy, nothing super elaborate. It just looked like, well, a big circle came down from the sky and squished down all the crops, and then went straight back up again. It's a little less glamorous than you know other things, but hey, it's what else could that be? I mean, some kind of vehicle came from the air and came down and made a circle and then went straight back up again and away. It's got to be a UFO, right?
Definitely circle shaped.
Definitely circle shaped, yes.
Okay. You know, it would have been interesting, like, if their vehicle wasn't just a circle.
That would be interesting. I mean, I'm sure there can be any kinds of different shapes.
Yeah.
Well, anyways,
Glenn was chatting with Scott to keep him occupied.
yeah. But you guys are kind of chatting as you're looking around up here on this top floor, and you see a small handful of bedrooms. We'll say three at the top floor. They're all just kind of spaced out around a hallway up there. With one at the end of the hall and all that. And it's otherwise, I mean, like I said, these rooms are again just empty. It appears this house does not have an attic, but yeah, whole bunch of empty rooms, whole bunch of windows. Hematite, can you give me an alertness test, please? You've been the one chatting up. All right. Ooh, a success. Okay. So you can see while you're talking to him, at one point, Scott Adams kind of trails off in the conversation a little bit while he's in a room next to you. Maybe you're still in the hallway and he's kind of just looking around one of the rooms. And you glance into the room while he's kind of trailing off and seeming a little absent-minded in his speech. And you see that at that moment, he is lining up his camera through the window to try to take a picture because that window looks into the barn through that open door. You see he just kind of sees that the door is open there and he walks up with his camera to try and like lean it up against the window and get a good shot.
From my memory, is there any chance of him actually getting something through there, or is he just going to get the loft?
There's a chance. It's hard to tell that angle from here. You kind of had your mind on other things when you were in there than, like reverse inspecting the angles from that door up to the windows of the house and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, from your angle, it's close. From his angle, it might be a sure thing. It's hard to tell. But, I mean, he doesn't seem to be freaking out right now, so he's clearly more focused on his camera. But, yeah.
Probably go in and like ask if he can see, like, what you see in there.
Can you give me a luck roll, please?
Sure.
This is not at the penalty. This is just a normal luck roll. Okay. Oh, I can't see much from here. I just kind of see the loft you were describing. I don't really see any mold though. What was the mold? Where was the mold you were talking about? Doesn't look so dangerous. It just kind of looks like a loft. Bit dirty, sure.
There are some pictures of the mold that she got.
Yeah.
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 This is true, but also High Tide had climbed up and described mold right at the top of the ladder, which is why no one else was going up without a gas mask. So he's kind of like, I don't see any mold up there on the loft.
Sure. I thought, like, for sure that black stuff in the corners.
Oh, where? Point it out. Point it out. No, I don't think that. I don't think that quite. Maybe. You sure I can't just go up there get a look myself? I'll wear the gas mask. It's fine.
I think I, I you honestly, I don't want to risk you. You're doing such good work for the public.
I appreciate the thought, but everything I do is risking myself for the public. That's why I accomplish so much for the public. Do you know how many times I've been arrested?
I'm sure it's certainly more than a handful.
Oh, it absolutely is. I've lost count at this point. Honestly, I'm sure my record is as long as pretty much anyone's. Like, they keep on picking me up in like every town I go to because my name gets around, and I am constantly trespassing. Right now, we're probably technically trespassing. So if an officer of the law comes up here, I'm running into the woods. But yeah,
Yeah. How was the local law enforcement?
uh, they tried to shut me down. They were very stern.
But like, on a conspiracy theory, or just running your mill small town asshole?
Something really did seem fishy. Yeah, they seemed to really care about the kind of places I wanted to go to and the kind of things I was trying to see and the kind of people I was trying to talk to. They really seem to be resisting me. It seems fishy. They don't want the truth getting out.
Where did you tell them you were going? Like, what set them off?
Oh, pretty much anything. I mean, they just didn't want me harassing their farmers and stuff in town. It's tax season, they kept saying, something like that. It's just not a good time. I don't think that's real, but
Yeah, there's something about that's a little fishy, but it hard to tell whether it's just, run of the mill government corruption or if it's
yeah.
actually something to do with aliens.
See, that's what I'm saying, right? It's so strange because it just all seems fishy.
Yeah. Like this one guy who owns half the town.
Yeah, exactly. That's not right. We're getting off topic though. We were talking about me going into that barn. Because I'll be perfectly honest. I really appreciate you, um, taking the risk and going up there and taking some pictures. But I there's no nice way to say this. I'm sorry, but my fans expect a little bit more care taken in the photography that I publish. They're accustomed to, a steadier hand, the better shots, more clear. We can see what's going on a little bit better. If I can get in there, I'll take the shots real quick. I can get all the evidence that will satisfy, my fans that I'll be confident in the work I'll be putting out.
Sorry about that. I was just real freaked out by just how much mold there was. And it, you saw it. It looked kind of weird.
Yeah, but
Like,
that excites me. I've got to get in there. I've got to see it.
or Joanna's spacing out.
All good. I mean, other
Can I
people are
ask-
up on that floor too. Yeah.
Can I ask a quick question?
Uh-huh.
Um, so the point of Delta Green is complete the mission at any cost and don't let the truth get out, correct?
Yeah, there's a whole list of like blah, blah, blah. Operational priorities. It's all like um I can't remember them off the top of my head. They're not like memorized, but yes, stop the incursion is like priority number one. Prevent the spread of knowledge of the incursion is very high up there. I clearly remember saving lives be last priority. There's a whole bunch of other priorities before that. It's usually like, yeah, I think it's stop the incursion, conceal the incursion, conceal Delta Green, like acquire useful, powerful artifacts that aren't going to corrupt Delta Green, and then like save lives last. Like I think that's roughly the
However,
priority
if we don't save the lives, we get very sad and very insane.
correct.
Yeah, I was just trying to that's the question I was asking was like if he does sneak away, is the priority to save him or not let the pictures get out?
If he got pictures and got away with them, he would effectively be the new target of a Delta Green operation that would probably be assassination. um, he would. The kind of knowledge you guys are all messing with as Delta Green agents are the kinds of things that you assume normal civilians will become problematic once they acquire that knowledge. Something like somebody gets this problematic knowledge, it's like it corrupts them, they turn into like a cult leader, they summon Cthulhu, whatever, right? Like this kind of things, if it gets into people's hands, it's going to corrupt them, it's going to make them go insane, they're going to make things even worse, it's going to spread. So yes, yeah, containing it and concealing it are like priorities number 1 and 2.
Okay, so priority if it gets this far, we might want to
Yes.
subdue Scott.
That, but also like
Fortunately, we have a convenient basement.
true. But like Taylor was
Also-
saying as well, those are the organizational priorities. The priorities of your characters may be different, and going with the organizational priorities may have ill effects on your characters. Yes. Sorry, Joanna.
Sorry. Tranquilizer darts or any sort of medical tranquilizers with us? Because we thought we were going to be interacting with Rage Belly.
And we just have regular pills. I don't think we have any tranks or anything.
Okay. And
That sounds
also,
right.
I can hear one of my cats throwing up, so I am going to
Oh,
need to deal.
good luck.
Yeah, turns out he eats so fast he throws up hours after.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what my cat does too.
Alright, I will be back in a bit.
Good luck.
Feel free to keep going if you need.
Yes.
I don't know where he threw up, so it'll be
All right.
a
Aw.
nice, fun scavenger hunt.
Yes. Best of luck with that.
Y-
Um,
And it's okay. I can take from here then. So, hey, you know what, Scott? I think you're right about that whole journalistic integrity thing. So let's make sure that we get a clean sweep of the house before we head back to the barn. 'Cause you never know what's in the basement. That's where they keep all the really creepy stuff, right?
Yeah, this place could use a clean sweep if you know what I'm saying. Like, look around, just like kicks dust off his shoes. All right, yeah, let's check the basement. There's nothing up here. So you approach the basement door. You open the basement door. It is dark.
Is there a light on the wall?
You see a light switch.
Click.
No light.
Well, it's a good thing I have a flashlight in my back pocket.
You do always.
Click. Starts looking down the stairs.
This time there is light. And yeah, so you start heading down the stairs. They're just old wooden steps, lead you deeper into this rough basement. And you can see that down here there's a furnace, like the shut off for the water, like the well. That's pretty much it. You just like few bits of the electrical wiring underneath the house and that kind of stuff, but it's a pretty plain, rough basement. It doesn't seem to be any details here unless anyone wants to start digging.
Does
Like
it seem
physically
like
digging in the dirt.
Yes.
No.
I mean, it is a dirt floor basement, so you potentially could.
does it seem like there are any easy escape paths
Escapes
other
out of
than
this
the door?
basement.
Yeah.
There are no windows or anything. No, it looks like just that door, unless somebody were to dig a tunnel.
Hmm.
I don't know. It's nothing. Just check the furnace. Pop it open and see if there's
Oh,
anything
just
in
empty.
there.
It hasn't been
But
used in a while.
all right. Even this is empty down here.
None of this dirt seems to be disturbed. It's just kind of all.
Yeah, it looks like no one's been in this house in months, even down here or anywhere.
Well, checked the basement. Guess time to head back up. And just Paolo will try to position like the people heading back up such that Scott is last to leave the cellar.
All right. So you guys start heading up those stairs. And before you do what I think you're going to do, we're going to cut back over to Taylor with Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Hunter, you've been assembling a flamethrower. We'll say you're pretty much done with it at this point. So you've got that in the back of your truck. You pull it up out of the crate, and you can hear the sound of an engine and tires approaching down the road. It's a dirt, like gravelly road.
I freeze, and then I panic,
Classic combo.
and then I grab my gun and I get behind the truck and peer over the hood of the truck.
By gun, do you mean your
I
pistol?
mean handgun, yeah.
Handgun, okay. So you just set the flamethrower back down into the crate, but
Yes.
completed? Okay. So that's propped out into the crate. If anyone passes by, you hopefully won't see over the top of it.
Hopefully it doesn't look out of place on a farm.
Yes, and you crouch down behind the truck. You hear the car approaching, that crunchy sound of the tires against the dirt and rocks beneath it. And you hear it slowing down. It does not appear to be passing. You hear it pull into the driveway, slowly, and pull up on the other side of your truck from where you are. Do you glance under the truck, around the truck to get a look at the vehicle, or are you just waiting still?
I'd like to look carefully over the hood.
You peek carefully over the hood, and you see a familiar police cruiser.
Right, I'm going to try to sneak away behind I guess around the corner of the barn, so that I can call one of the people inside the house and let them know.
Okay. Give me a stealth roll then. So, you hear the car stop, and you hear the door open, and that's when you take your moment while this person is probably looking at the ground, setting their feet down, and then looking over your vehicle. You take that chance to run around the front of your truck towards the house, and you do make it there. You take one glance back, and you see it is the sheriff's vehicle. It is the sheriff, after all, who is now inspecting your truck.
Alright, having been now around the corner, I am going to... I guess I'll call High Tide just in, the lowest voice I can manage, and let him know that the sheriff is here, and ask him what to do.
So, with this timing, Hematite and High Tide have emerged from the basement stairs. Hollow is at the top of the stairs, and Scott Adams is just below Hollow on the stairs behind him. So High Tide is right there at the back door, and you're able to whisper to him real quick. You see them emerging from the basement.
So, am I at the house or am I behind the barn?
I think you parked closer to the house. That's what I was picturing, at least.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Right, because I had to go a ways to get to the truck to start assembling. Okay, so
Yeah.
then I died. I died.
Yes. Hello.
The sheriff's here. Sheriff followed us.
Is it the same one?
Yes. What are we gonna do? If he just looks like it at all, am I sure he's gonna see the flamethrower?
Do you think talking with him and maybe that'll be able to distract him for a little bit?
No, he was like possessed by something last time and he just started shooting. That's gonna happen now, I know it. There's no chance it's not gonna happen. We gotta get him first.
Do we know that the sheriff is this the same sheriff that talked to them when they were staking out?
Yes.
Okay. Did well, he didn't shoot you guys when you were on the side of the road. He just seemed to talk.
Well, yeah, but I, yeah, but he's like here now. That was just random chance, I think. He followed us here. He knows what's going on. That's the only explanation.
Does he have his gun drawn or anything, or is he just what's he doing?
I I don't know. I just got here as soon as he pulled up, and I realized it was his car, and I saw him, but I guess I can. I'll look. I'll be right back.
Am I able to also look outside the front window?
Yeah. You can. I'll give you a sneak at or a stealth at 20% plus. You have a 20% bonus.
Okay,
Since you're
so
inside the house, it's you're dark there's light outside, so
it's neutral because I have minus 20% from sleep
there you go.
because I critically failed and it's a 10. So yep, nope.
Right.
At least
So
I can check mark that.
you walk towards the front of the house and you think, oh, the broken window will be the clearest one to look out of because the other ones were kind of dirty, and you step on some broken glass near that window that was open, and you do see the sheriff out there. He's looking into Hunter's truck, and you can see as you get closer to the window, he sees something that makes him kind of startled, and he reaches down and slowly pulls out his handgun and holds it up in a neutral position, just pointed up at the sky, like has it ready but not aimed at anything. And he starts kind of slowly looking around and crouches down to get safe behind the truck. And then you step on the glass and you duck back into the house after hearing the sound you've made. But he spins towards the house. You can just barely see him look at the house as you retreat back closer into the house.
So, does he have his gun?
Yeah, he did just draw it, but he seemed to be pointing it at the sky before I distracted him.
Oh, he knows we're here then. So he's coming. Is he coming? He's coming for us.
Oh, I can't see him anymore. I ducked down so he couldn't see me in the window. Hopefully, I don't know if he did.
What are you talking about? What's going on? Why are you whispering?
The sheriff's here.
I'm not on
He's
the phone
got his
call.
gun.
I'm talking to High Tide.
I don't know that we're on the phone either. I think we're just close enough that we're
Oh,
just
that's right. You were
whispering
in
at
the
each other.
house.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would.
Well, does he seem more startled by the flamethrower or just drawing it for no reason?
I don't know. When I saw him, he was pointing his gun to the sky first.
I could clarify that a little bit. It's not like he was arm extended pointing it to the sky. It was more like he had it at his chest level pointed up so that he's not like pointing it at anything, if that makes sense.
But he readied it after finding the flamethrower.
He looked in the bed of the truck and then readied his handgun, yeah.
Well, I'd wager he is a little bit more worried about the flamethrower and that than anything like coming at us yet.
Well, I'm gonna go back here. I'm gonna wait. If he does anything he's not supposed to, that's on him. That's on you. I'm gonna start firing.
Maybe.
He's
Hey, Scott, the Popo's here.
Yeah, I heard. Listen, he can't get me again. All right, he's gonna lock me up for a long time if he catches me trespassing here again. This is not good.
Hindsight just kind of smirks.
You
Why don't
guys
help me?
hear?
And he
As-
goes to like push him like out of the house, like Scott, just get him out of
Okay.
there.
So you hear, as you're doing that, you hear the sheriff out front has creeped closer to the house and is now shouting into the house. This is Sheriff Oakley! Come out of the house with your hands on your head! Slowly! No quick movements! And he's just, things like that. Shouting into the house, like, whoever's in there, that kind of stuff. Is that when you just shove Scott Adams?
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, I think this is gonna be contested athletics. Scott does not want to go out right now.
All right. Oh, that didn't go very well for Hallow.
Scott also failed, so we'll say you try to push him, and you guys just push against each other, and you're kind of just struggling against the back of the house, maybe making a bit of noise as you shuffle around in there. It's like, I can hear you in there! Come out slowly!
Was there a back door?
Yes. What the fuck are you doing? Hey, no, I gotta stay in here. I gotta hide. Listen, if you all want to protect me and protect what I'm doing, then protect me.
Your story is better after you've been in jail. It means that they know that you know something. You're more credible that way.
Give me a persuasion check. Okay, that makes some sense, I guess. So I should just go out there and
Tell them
okay.
it's all you. We're not
Wait.
here. This is your story.
Okay, you're right, but no, I like that because I'll get the credit for going down in jail. Everyone will believe me because the police want to silence me. I get that, but how do we get the evidence then? Are you guys gonna keep hunting for evidence?
Yeah, we'll keep looking for evidence. Actually, here, give us the pictures that you already have, and we'll get them back to you when you get out. Unless you want to hold on to them, because the police are going to take them away from you.
He's gonna take them from me. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You know what? That makes sense. Listen, I'm trusting you. Okay. You gotta. Okay. That's fine. Whatever.
God. This is best for you. This is best for us.
He seems still kind of uncertain, but kind of leaning towards it. You've kind of started to convince him when the sheriff shouts again. Sheriff, it's like, this is your final warning. Come on out. And so Scott kind of shakes his head a little bit, like kind of steeling himself, and then puts his hands on his head, opens the back door, and walks around the outside of the house slowly. The sheriff's like, all right, get on your knees, and a whole big thing. So sheriff has begun to arrest Scott Adams. Scott Adams is on the ground, and the sheriff is beginning to handcuff him. However, you guys have temporarily distracted the police officer, this sheriff, but there are multiple vehicles here. So you haven't completely solved the situation. How do you want to proceed with this?
Do we recognize any of the vehicles?
Sorry, to be clear,
They're our
there's
vehicles.
Scott's van and there's Hunter's truck, and Hunter's truck is
which
what
has
drew,
a flamethrower.
which has a flamethrower in it. Yes, so the sheriff may question that Scott truly brought two vehicles here on his own.
Do we all still have our FBI badges?
Yes. Unless you didn't bring it. I mean, I have my real one. All right, so what do we do? There's still an extra car out there, the one with the flamethrower in it.
Well,
Is he visually distracted, like to the point where we might be able to sneak out a door?
And you could roll for it potentially. He's just handcuffing poor Scott Adams at the moment and getting him back up to his feet.
You think we could? We need that flamethrower.
If he tries to take it, then we gotta rush him. We gotta get rid of what's in that thing. That's more important than anything else. We gotta stop them.
Ooh, I have an idea.
Maybe he'll just come back later, though. We can get it done when he leaves.
I don't think he's gonna leave the flamethrower behind. Maybe make some noise and we can bait him into the basement. We need to do something about him, or to get him to leave, or.
I think the only way I can think of to bait him in the basement is for one of us to be the bait. I don't think he'd be stupid enough.
Yeah, no, we
to just
probably
leave him
should have
behind.
got Scott to bait him in that case. That ship has sailed. Since looking at Scott just like handcuffed.
Could see about getting him in from, well, and just claim the truck as a second vehicle.
I don't think I understand.
Two
Yeah,
vehicles and presumably two drivers, so he's looking for two people.
Yeah.
I've already had an interaction with him. He jumped right at me, and I don't have whatever freak out you guys do about him.
Are you gonna lure him into the basement, or are you just gonna like go be a decoy? What are you thinking?
I was thinking lure him in the basement. Side note, have we
Yeah.
checked out the basement? Is it something that we can close someone in on?
Yes.
I mean, the door definitely closes. We could probably block the door with. I mean, there's no furniture, but.
I will interrupt you for a moment. Because, Hunter, as you guys are having this conversation, the hairs in the back of your neck have started to stand up a little bit. Your instincts are telling you something's wrong. You're starting to like get goosebumps a little bit. You're realizing what's off here. What's off here? What could it be? Your mind starts racing, and you realize it's gotten quiet. For a man being arrested outside and potentially being dragged off to a vehicle and put inside, it's dead silent outside.
Does anybody else feel like something's really wrong?
Any way we can see Scott?
You look out the window where he was previously handcuffing Scott, or where Officer Oakley was handcuffing Scott, and there's no one there.
Barn. Is there like someone trying to get to the barn?
You look over towards the barn, don't see anything.
Okay.
So Scott and the sheriff are gone, but the sheriff's vehicle is still there.
Yeah, so you run around to the front, sheriff's vehicle's still there.
Okay. We weren't talking long enough for him to like actually walk somewhere without us, right? Without us noticing, right?
I mean, you were talking for as long as you were talking, so he could have probably got a few dozen feet at a sneaky pace.
But like, where would he go?
That is the question.
Hala will start edging towards the back door and peeking out back there.
I say, I think this is our opportunity. I can get the flamethrower. I can bring it in here. And we can deal with whatever else we need to do later. Okay?
Whatever's going on, we need to make sure that you're covered. Let me check out the back, and then you can make a break for the
Actually,
truck.
I can maybe see if I can see if he's there, and I
Yeah, let me
make a tripping sound and like roll some lipstick.
Is it?
Can I clarify the scene a little bit here real quick?
Yeah.
Did Hunter go inside with the rest of you after this conversation started, or are you having this conversation through the back door?
Yeah, I'm inside.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted to double check that. Make sure I didn't misunderstand. Thank you.
Does it seem to be the same time of day outside?
Yeah, looks to be about, mid early morning, maybe 10, 11 a.m. I forget exactly what time he got to town and drove over here, but yeah, it's morning. Approaching noon.
Anything out the back door?
So you wanted to peek out the back door, right?
Yeah.
I was actually gonna do decoy stuff and just like trip down, like purposefully trip on something, whether it's the floor or what, and like make a shit sound and roll my lipstick towards the entryway to see if that'll draw someone out.
Okay. Did you
If
want to tell Agent Hallow that before you do it so that he doesn't peek out the door, or you can
Yeah.
stop him?
I was gonna, yeah, I'll just be like, we can do the bait thing now.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. Are you baiting out the back so we can go towards the flamethrower?
Yep.
All right.
And if he's not there, then we'll know.
Yep.
So then I'll make like pretending to be quiet and failing sounds.
All right. So you make intentionally poor stealth noises. I won't make you roll for that. That's fairly easy to just make noise.
Yeah, and then the lipstick would be rolling in the entryway. So like there's motion there to draw someone out.
All right, you do that. And then do you wait a minute to see? Because nothing happens.
Poke my head out.
Out the back door?
Mm-hmm.
A shotgun blast hits the wall next to the door where you poke your head out, narrowly missing you, and your ears are ringing from the incredibly loud sound of a shotgun exploding only less than a dozen feet away.
Go! Out the front! Let's go now!
Charging.
Give me a sanity check, as being ambushed by gunfire is a sanity check. All right, you lose 1 point of sanity to violence.
All right.
While Hunter runs for the car, Hala will be rotating around the building towards where the shotgun blast came from. Actual FBI training kicking in to tactically sweep around and just be ready, kind of having an idea as to where this person should be based on where the shotgun blast came from.
Absolutely.
I think given how I do things, I would probably scream and start spraying mace in front of me everywhere.
Yes, fair. So you just start spraying this, you head back into the house, everybody's panicking. Are you all running out the front? What are you doing here? Where's everyone going?
I'm running out the front, just trying to get to the flamethrower.
Yep.
I'm not back, so I'm essentially knee-jerk trying to incapacitate whoever's shooting at me with mace.
Alright, so you're actually running towards the threat, just trying to spray?
Yeah, because it sounded like the shotgun wasn't that far away, correct?
No, it was extremely loud and extremely close.
Yeah, so I think it would be total flail. I am spraying everything in a circle around me. Just
all right.
mace everywhere.
Yeah, so you just rush out and start spraying mace everywhere. And you catch some glimpses of it through your, hectic state of mind, and you're spraying mace everywhere and probably getting it on yourself. That the sheriff is there at the corner of the house, and he had kind of braced up against it with his shotgun aimed at the door there, waiting for somebody to come out of the house. It seemed like he was ready, that somebody was inside, and he was waiting to shoot to kill. He's currently preparing for another shot. Let's get into initiative here. I think makes some sense. So, we'll start with High Tide. What are you doing?
I would definitely be running towards the truck.
All right, so you rush out the front of the building, and we'll say in a single turn you do make it to the truck. It's not so far of a distance that you don't make it there, but it's going to take your pretty much entire turn to get there. If that sounds good to you.
Yeah, I know that's where the fire stuff is, and fire is good against these people, these aliens.
All right. This is now when the sheriff would take his turn, but he had held an action previously, so his turn is consumed. Hunter, you were running towards the truck as well, is that right?
Yes, I'm trying to get in the bed.
All right, so you make it to the truck as well. We'll say next turn, perhaps you can jump up into the bed or something. Hematite, we kind of already know what you're doing. You're running out with mace, just spraying it everywhere. But Hallow, what are you doing?
Hallow's rounding the house, pistol up and at the ready, to whip around to the back to where the sheriff is firing from.
Is there any chance I can, start, once I see him, start charging towards his direction?
Yeah, I think once you identify his location, you can start moving that direction, yeah?
Yeah. Basically, my goal is to make it so he can't shoot at me with accuracy, while also keeping him distracted.
All right, so Hallow, for your turn, you make it to that tactical position you were hoping to get to. And then we go back.
So just around the corner from the sheriff, essentially.
Yeah, like around the front corner, looking towards the back is kind of what I'm picturing, or were you thinking the opposite?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you head out the front, and then you double back to that corner and look back. You can see him braced up against that corner, aiming towards something at the back. He's currently blind to you. But we'll say since you used your turn, you were moving quickly and you weren't sneaking. He kind of glances back in your direction, and now he's kind of surrounded on either side by the two of you. So he's aware of you there at least, but he hasn't moved yet. High Tide, you've made it to the truck. What are you doing?
What were the flammables that we had? Didn't we make a ton of Molotovs?
I think somebody did, yeah.
We have a bunch of Molotovs, and we also have a ton of flares in the truck.
Alright, I would definitely pick up a couple of the Molotovs and prepare to start burning the barn as well.
Okay, so you're ready to start burning the barn. All right. So you're picking up the Molotovs, not the flamethrower?
Yeah.
Just checking. Okay, sounds good. So you grab a couple Molotovs, you pull out a lighter, and you're ready. But you haven't taken that turn to actually do anything with them yet. The sheriff is going to take one more shot at Hematite, who is now extremely close range. And we'll see if Hematite is lucky today. Hematite is very unlucky today. One shot earlier missed you, Hematite, but now as you rush blindly towards this cop with mace in hand, you get hit with a shotgun blast at a pretty close range. You're going to take 7 points of your hit points as damage.
Okay.
Is that more than half of your current total? Or,
Yes.
half of your max. You're going to take a permanent injury from this, even if you do survive. Which we will find
Okay.
out what that is later, because you get knocked off your feet and to the ground, covered in mace and your own blood. The sheriff is then going to move a small amount. He can't do a big move and an action at the same time, but he's going to, after shooting that shot, just completely mechanically, with no emotion attached to the kill, just step around the corner out of Hallow's sight. And then it is Hunter's turn.
He's stepping towards me, though.
Yes. So your body hits the ground, and he almost steps over you, completely mechanically and unfeeling.
I'm going to... I think you said the flamethrower isn't fully complete yet.
I think it's
I'm
complete,
going-
yeah. You
Okay.
just barely got it done before the sheriff arrived.
Then I'm gonna scream drive. Oh no, nobody's here with me. Okay.
Hightide's with you, but he's pulling
Okay.
things out of the truck.
Well, I'm gonna scream drive anyway, and when I'm seeing that he's really not aiming at driving, I guess I'm just gonna how heavy is the flamethrower? Am I able to carry it with me?
I think it's designed for somebody to lift and use.
Right.
So
Yeah.
heavy,
I mean,
but
if it's a Vietnam War era flamethrower, yes, you can carry
Okay.
it.
I'm
Farm
dragging.
That's what I
boy.
was thinking, yeah.
I'm gonna drag it toward the barn then, and prepare
right.
to waffen some flamen.
Okay. So you rush over in that direction. You probably have to... You pass Hollow at this point then. So Hollow's in a tactical position, sees his target step around the corner right before he shoots, probably. And then out of the corner of his eye, just sees Hunter charging towards the barn with the flamethrower. And it is now Hollow and Hematite's turns.
All right. Hala will step around that corner just enough to like swing around, take aim where the sheriff would be, and fire.
All right, so you're gonna step up around the corner and just take a shot. I'm gonna give you a slight penalty, a 10% penalty for moving that much and then firing, but I'll allow it instead of just saying you can only move or fire. Yeah, I think that makes some sense here.
That's still a 16.
16,
Baby.
that is a success. So go ahead and roll your firearm damage, your pistol. 2. All right, so I think you hit him. You actually aim really well. That's a really low roll, but you shoot him, and it appears he's got a vest on or something, a bulletproof vest. Because you shoot him, and he gets impacted, and he like stumbles a bit, and clearly that was a lot of pain. But you don't see like blood or anything. He just gets hit, and he goes down, and then he's kind of standing back up.
All right. And if there's enough he'll just duck back around that corner and crouch a little bit. Or no, crouching is bad. That's the smaller target, like one target. Yeah, no, he's just going to be back around that corner as much as he can.
Okay. All right.
My turn, right?
Yes. Technically, both of you can kind of go interchangeably because you have the same deck score.
Yeah. I have a Swiss Army knife. Can I just try and flail at his legs?
Absolutely, yeah. He thinks he just took out the target because you hit the ground and you're probably just in shock on the ground, not moving for a second when you snap to your senses.
Yeah, I'm gonna just like try and slash through the back of his cap and make it hard for him to run.
Okay. Before you do so, real quick
Yeah.
for me, roll me a sanity check for being shot. Okay. You're going to take 1d4 sanity damage from violence.
Am I ready for you?
You can roll it. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but... Alright, 3 more points of sanity damage from violence.
I'm very paranoid right now.
Alright. So this guy came here to kill you. He was waiting for you at the door. How did he know you were here? He is going to shoot you again. So, you lash out. I think there's an armed combat skill. Is that right? There's like a melee... There's unarmed combat,
Melee
and then there's
Yes.
melee weapons, yes.
Alright.
You try to slash out at his leg. You draw the Swiss Army knife, I think he notices the motion and just kind of jumps out of the way. Like he just, like somebody trying to jump out of the way of a small animal coming at them. Like he just kind of springs out of your reach. Just lifting his leg up and trying to pull it away from the range of your knife. But this delays him from aiming his shotgun down at you again. And you've kind of distracted him for the moment. But yeah, you're unsuccessful at landing a hit. We're back to High Tide. You've got some Molotovs. What are you doing with them?
I'm going to attempt to throw one of them into the door that's open on the second floor in the barn.
Okay. If you want to run over there and then throw them, well, you know, I let Hunter pick up a thing and run with it, so you probably could have picked them up and then run with it. So you've picked up the Molotovs. You've run over there with Hunter. I believe it's an athletics roll to toss something accurately, or even semi-accurately. So see if you can get it up there. All right. Even with your minus 20% from being tired, that is exactly on target. That is a success. You pull out these Molotovs, you light one, you chuck it up there, and you just see flames erupt in the loft of this barn. And that'll be your turn. The sheriff, around back, has been swung at by Hematite. He knows Hollow is around the corner. He can see people throwing things into the barn. I think, yeah, in this cold mechanical state he's in right now, Hematite just swung at him, proving that she is still a threat. So he's going to aim the shotgun down at Hematite. I'm going to give him a bonus on this because you're just on the ground and he's right next to you. He didn't need it. There's another 7 points of damage, Hematite.
I'm dead.
Hematite swings out at him with a knife. He jumps out of the way, aims the shotgun back down, and just boom! Hello, Hunter and High Tide. You guys hear another shot ring out from behind the house. The three of you currently have no idea what the status of Hematite is, although the players do.
I'm just gritting my teeth and continuing on.
All right. So it is Hunter's turn, yes. So you have the
Alright.
flamethrower. You're just starting to ignite walls?
I am going to just start igniting walls, yes.
Alright, you start spraying flames, throwing flames, if you will, everywhere, all over these walls. And we'll say you get pretty well, like, halfway around the barn, just up and down patterns with the flamethrower, left and right, just trying to cover as much area as possible. The heat is intense in front of you, and you can see this building is starting to burn rapidly. Hallow, it's your turn.
He's sticking with his plan. Take out the sheriff, try to keep as many of the other agents alive as possible. Turns back around the corner, tries to not look at what he's sure is down there and just shoot more accurately, hopefully this time.
All right. So yes, you probably, yeah, you make it to the corner just in time to see Hematite get shot into the dirt. And now you take aim. So I won't give you a penalty on this shot. Just go ahead and fire.
Yeah.
Perhaps the moment when Hematite gets shot sends a shock through you, and you tense up a little bit, and your aim suffers for it, and you're trying to look down the sights to get your shot on target, and you just pull the trigger, and you don't see the sheriff respond at all. You don't see a hit land anywhere, and the sheriff turns towards you. Do you want to spend your last little second of time here to get around the corner? It's not going to matter too much because he's all right.
Just
okay.
distract the guy away at this
so you
point.
pop around the corner trying to bait him towards you. It is High Tide's turn. You throw on the other Molotov?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to.
All right, athletics.
That is not a
Nice.
success.
Oh shit.
Not
That's
a
right.
success due to, yeah. So we'll say instead of throwing it into the building, you hit the wall next to the opening. So you do continue helping set the barn on fire, but you're not setting the inside on fire like the first one did. You're not contributing to that fire, at least. I'm sure it's burning away plenty.
Yeah, I mean, you said there was a ton of sawdust and like wood shavings up there,
Yes. And
which
High
is
tide.
good kindling.
I think the reason you're unlucky here is you see, as you're about to throw this thing, something emerges from the hole in the wall. Something that shocks you, something that scares you, and something that's gonna require a sanity check. But we'll get to that in a second. So that moment when you get shocked as you're about to throw it, it just kind of slips from your fingers a little bit and it hits the wall next to the thing instead. You see something you've not seen before because your memories have been gone. But I think Hunter has seen it as he comes around the outside of the building. I think Hallow, who is taking cover from the other, the police officer, happens to look in the direction of the barn and sees it and recognizes it. You know that weird crustacean creature that the Gray Men called a dog before?
Mhm.
That weird thing covered with fungus, that massive entity that didn't make physical sense. It was kind of almost like fungus was interconnecting it in different places, and it was pulsating and changing colors and almost had tendrils and antennae of fungus and all sorts of weirdness. One
The
of
thing that made
those,
me lose my memory.
yes, one of those bursts from the opening. And you can hear the sound coming from it. It's not quite a scream, though it is very much on fire. It's more like television static from 50 televisions, all layered on top of each other. All just noise that doesn't make any biological sense. This crackling electronic sound. This death rattle that sounds digital and like intentionally fucked up to sound like glitchy. It is a weird sound. Everybody outside, give me a sanity check.
Nope.
Yes.
Am I close enough that that affects me?
Yes, I think you would have come around the other corner, basically, at this point. Either way, when you finish your next turn, you'd be around enough to see it, so... and you definitely hear it. So, upon seeing it, on a success, that is 1 point of sanity loss from the unnatural, and on a failure, it is 1d6. You can roll that for yourself.
Oh,
Oh,
boy.
no.
Oof.
Don't forget you can project if you need it.
I feel like
I will project some actually.
Okay.
I'll project onto Isul because she sent me to this town the first time, so clearly this is partially her fault or something. We'll get to that. It's 1d4 to push.
Yes. And then...
Yeah.
So
Alright,
you
well.
still are going to have a temporary insanity. High Tide, what were you saying?
no, I feel like this makes sense because I actually quote haven't seen it before.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a freaky thing to see, but you think you're killing it right now. It is releasing this terrifying sound as it hits the ground, and it starts rushing towards you, High Tide. And as it does, another one emerges from the door,
Oh,
even
no.
more on fire. Okay, and then it is the sheriff's turn. The sheriff is going to pop around the corner next to Hollow, lift his shotgun, and take a shot. I'm going to give him a slight penalty for having to move around the corner. Doesn't matter. 12 points of damage to Hollow.
I'm alive, but barely.
Ooh, how barely?
I have 2 hit points remaining.
Okay. You fall unconscious at 2 hit points or less, and give me a Constitution times 5 test. I think he shoots you in the shoulder so directly with such a tight cluster of a shotgun round that he just blows your arm clean off. You collapse to the floor. Blood is spraying all over the place as that's a major artery, just pumping out of your body, and you just fade to black. It is now Hunter's turn.
I'm gonna turn the flamethrower on the dog.
Hell yeah.
Are they both rushing me right now?
One of them is still kind of climbing out of the building, but the other one is rushing you, yeah.
I am on the razor's edge of sanity right now.
So if you're shooting the flamethrower at the dog, give me a firearms check, I think.
Oh no.
Oh no. Retroactively, I think I will give that a plus 20%. Your target is distracted and on fire, and I feel like a flamethrower is a little harder
Thank
to
you.
miss with.
As we all know, fire attracts fire.
Yeah, fire attracts fire, exactly, right? It's like magnets. How do they work? So, with that 20%, you do land the hit. And now I get to ask, are there flamethrower stats? There certainly have to be. Billy Agent's Handbook. I wish I looked this up ahead of time, but I did not, so now I have to interrupt the flow. Weapons, here we go.
It's interrupted. Nova, the fluffy gray cat, is very, very interested in following Dan's cursor around the screen.
Excellent. Okay, so this weapon has a lethality, so go ahead and roll a D100. And technically it's going to be 2d10. So that is
Gotcha.
12 points of damage, essentially. As you lift this flamethrower, and you point, you pull the trigger, this thing that you've seen once before, and it absolutely terrified you. You are now solving with violence. I need to double check the stats on this thing real quick, because some things are immune to different kinds of damage, and this is absolutely fire. But I don't see anything. So I think you coat it with fire, it releases an even deeper version of that screaming, otherworldly sound. And then, as it's trying to make its way to high tide, it's crawling along the ground, and then it gives up. As you're spraying fire at it, it tries to lift up into the air, tries to fly away. It just flaps its little wings that are made of fungus and starts to burn up. It hits the ground. It struggles to lift another, claw up and away from itself, and then it collapses. And it's no more. The other one is still climbing out of the building, but for now you have killed one of them. Hallow, you are unconscious. High Tide, it is your
Yep.
turn.
Okay, at this point, I feel like I'm in a panic. I have a pistol, and I'm just gonna wildly fire at the other dog.
Okay.
I'm not
I
good
like-
with firearms, and it's with the penalty, I need to roll a 1 or a 2.
I like that we're calling them dogs. This is good. This is very Elden Ring of us.
Yep, nope.
That is a miss. So you just fire blindly, and you just miss all your shots. This other one is now climbing out of the, out of the barn, and it gets down to the ground in front of you. But instead of trying to attack you, it just appears to try and scuttle off into the forest. One more now begins to climb out of the barn. And its sound is not like a scream. It's that static again. But instead of it just being noise, there's some logic to it. You hear the sound of 10,000 voices, all talking over each other in different languages. But you recognize perhaps one or two of them, depending on your character's languages. and you're able to hear those over the others somehow and interpret them. And what the voice says, in a complete monotone, is, "The experiment has failed. Terminate." And then it is the sheriff's turn, who is going to spend his turn reloading his shotgun. We're back to Hunter. You've killed one of the dogs. You can now see two more, and one is trying to escape.
So there's one that's going for the forest, and there's one that just came out, correct?
Yes.
All right, I want to go for the one that's going for the forest.
All right, give me another firearms check. Plus 20%. Oh, just barely a
Even
failure
still.
still. You aim the flamethrower, and this thing is surprisingly fast for being a large lumbering dog thing, and you're not so used to the flamethrower yet, and you just trail behind it a little bit, and it gets out of your reach, and it's faster than you are at running, so you lose track of it. But you don't lose track of it for long, because it leaves a trail of flame through the forest as it runs. High Tide, you are losing your shit right now. What are you doing?
Is Hollow still moving?
Alive?
Or
Moving, maybe. Like, barely moving, but also unconscious.
You can see blood pumping out of his stump of a shoulder.
Okay, what? I know there's a skill first aid.
Yep.
What are the rules for that? Like,
You would use the skill.
The sheriff is
first
also
aid.
still alive.
The sheriff is also, mostly unwounded. He's probably got a few cracked ribs and bruises from being shot with a bulletproof vest on, but he is still up. So yes, a first aid test can heal 1d4 hit points. An agent then can't be healed by first aid again until they are damaged again. Sometimes even a quote-unquote dead character can be resuscitated with luck and swift action. This requires a first aid test within a number of minutes equal to the victim's constitution score. So, it's possible, potentially, with a bit of luck, to save both Hallow and Hematite here.
yeah, but the sheriff is there and I'm already wounded.
Correct.
You also have a gun,
I
if you're lucky.
I have a 22 for firearms, so with a minus 20, I need to roll a 1 or a 2.
Do you have any unarmed combat? Can you, like, rush him and try to take the gun away?
Yeah, I have melee and unarmed, which are both okay.
What are you doing?
Oh, God.
Rushing him does make some sense, especially if your character's good at it.
Yeah, I did that last time, and I did very well at it, so I think that's what I'm going to try to do, is just rush
Alright.
him and, like, subdue him on the ground so he can't shoot.
You can choose unarmed combat or athletics, whichever's higher.
Unarmed combat.
Alright.
That is not a success with the minus 20.
Correct. Yeah, so you can see he is, like, finished reloading his shotgun at this point. Just popped an extra couple shells in, and then sees you charging at him, and readies the shotgun to point it at you. But then this is the point in time where we hear the word terminate go through that weird mix of languages before. And as soon as that word rings in your head, the sheriff has raised his gun to point it at you, and then blood starts coming out of his eyes.
No, not again.
He starts to wilt. His arm goes limp. He drops the shotgun. He actually tries to pull the trigger, but it's like his arm is too weak at this point, and he kind of falls and just shoots the ground next to him, and the shotgun gets knocked out of his hand, and he kind of twists around from the blast like he's extremely, like, he has no muscle left in his body. He's just a ragdoll, and he collapses to the ground. So, you have failed to tackle him, but he appears to no longer be a threat now that it is his turn. The remaining dog who's in the building also begins to run out to the forest. So he starts to kind of get close to Hunter. So Hunter, it's your turn. You could try to take a shot at that one.
Gonna spray and pray.
All right, let's start a forest fire. Only you can start forest fires. All right.
And we can.
So that one
Can and will.
gets a little too close to you, and you have already calibrated your aim based on the flamethrower now after missing the previous one. So you aim ahead a little bit, pull the trigger, and this one that was already in the flames for a little bit longer is weaker. So let's see how much that damages. It's 2d10, I guess, because I don't think lethality works against these guys. 12 points of damage. Once again, this one sputters and tries to get away, but it just collapses to the ground. You've managed to kill it.
Huzzah.
High Tide, what are you doing?
Hematite definitely looks in worse shape than Hallow does, correct?
Yes.
I'm
I
going
think
to
Hematite
attempt...
took multiple shots to the abdomen.
Okay. Are there any negative effects to failing first aid?
And you even succeed at it right now with your penalty.
Yes, if I roll under a 10.
Oh, wow.
If you fail at first aid, no one else can try it, is the main thing. Like, you've shown, like, nope, first aid's not going to work on this person, basically. They become immune to first aid for a little bit.
So what is the luck and first aid roll, like, together? Do you need to pass luck before trying first aid?
Let me read a little farther down. I don't see anything about that. Well, is that on your sheet?
That was something you said. Where
Sorry.
There was...
It was flavor text on the thing. It said, with a little bit of luck and first aid. It was just
okay.
Yeah, just like flavor text. With luck and swift action was the flavor text of that one.
Is there any way using, like, bandages or anything boosts the attempt rate?
I don't think so. I think you just roll first aid. I mean, I can look through stuff, but would you have had bandages on hand?
Well, I would look through the van
Yeah.
to see if he has any. And is Scott alive right now?
You don't see Scott at the moment.
He was never there.
Emergency and survival. Okay, there's an individual first aid kit which adds plus 20% to a first aid check. So if you could find a first aid kit, that does exist. That seems like a logical thing. I should just start remembering that. If you could find the useful item, it can just add 20%. That's an easy call.
All right, I'm going to, I guess, attempt a search in the van.
right.
No, that's a 4. I need to roll a 1, 2, 3, or 4. Are you kidding me? I hate being tired.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna attempt. Nope, doesn't.
Oh.
Oh no.
You rush towards the van. And then your knees get weak. You stumble to the ground, you try to pick yourself up. And your face feels wet. Your eyes hurt. What are you doing?
Am I throwing up yet?
Not yet.
Huh. I mean, I feel like searching through the van is going to be my entire turn, so I'm going to keep searching through the van, so I think there's
Okay,
not
so
much else I can do.
Yeah, you realize Shit's going wrong with your body, but you just continue pressing on. You barely make it to the van at that point. Hunter, what are you doing?
I am going to see the sheriff, correct?
Yes. His
All right.
body is kind of crumpled on the ground.
All right, I'm gonna go over and I'm gonna torch him, assuming that he's just gonna get right back up and continue killing us.
So
This is not a revenge. This is just more reactive terror.
This is double tap. Always ensure they're dead. So I won't make you roll for that. You just walk up and you just torch the body. Okay. High Tide, you're looking for first aid. Oh, before we leave Hunter's turn, I'll say, Hunter, your face starts feeling wet.
I don't feel like that's the top of my priority list at the moment.
Totally fair.
But acknowledged.
High Tide, what are you doing?
This is exactly how we felt last time before we passed out, right?
Yep.
I am going to... So we woke up with all of our memories. Did we wake up with injuries or just mental loss?
I don't know that anyone got injured. Does anyone remember?
I mean,
I guess you got murdered.
Hematite died.
Hematite
Yes.
died in fire.
We all got... someone got shot. I think it was Hunter.
I was thinking of mechanical injuries, like losing an arm or things like that. No, I don't think... I mean, nobody was, like, dying when they woke up. You all just woke up, so... I don't know.
Yeah, I don't believe I sustained any serious injuries last time.
What are you doing here? You're starting to see red.
At this point, I don't think anyone is going to survive. So I'm going to retrieve another Molotov and I'm going to throw it into the barn again. Just prepare to torch everything that they own.
You can't find a first aid kit, so desperate, starting to like have to crawl along the ground. You grab a Molotov, you vomit over the side of the truck. You start trudging towards the barn, desperate to do more damage to it. The barn is starting to collapse on itself, but it can always be more on fire. Hunter, what are you doing? You're starting to feel pretty weak yourself. That flamethrower is feeling heavy in your hands.
I'm probably just gonna collapse to the ground at this point.
You're feeling a familiar sense of dread over your body. Your body
Just
has not felt
position.
this before, but your mind has. You fetal position, and then you start convulsing as you vomit. Both of you, I won't describe everything all over again, but both of you, as soon as High Tide makes it back to the barn and just weakly lobs the Molotov, and it kind of stumbles across the ground and doesn't even break. It's just too weak at this point. Both of you have a extremely painful last few seconds of your lives. And everything is black. You hear the beating of a drum in the distance. Or many drums? A drum you've never heard before, an impossible drum. A drum with no rhythm, or all of the rhythms? Thunder, sound, pressure, blackness. The drum almost becomes a song. You almost start to recognize it. You feel like you've heard it. You feel like you've heard it for a long time. You feel like it's always been there. Behind everything, underneath everything, above everything, outside of everything. And then you wake up in whatever position you were in this morning, September 6th, Monday. Some of you are in cars, some of you are basically hungover, some of you are in your local motel rooms near that hospital, but you all shoot awake, probably covered in sweat. This has happened to you once before. You have no idea why this is happening. Let's do some quick sanity things before we get your characters' reactions. Everyone experienced death that time. Nobody was like asleep for it. Everybody just fucking
I was
died. They got
unconscious.
shot. You were unconscious, but you had your arm blown off. That's pretty violent.
Yeah, I did.
So everybody give me a sanity check versus violence.
1 sec.
No worries.
The cats have taken over my mouse pad again.
Classic.
Figuring out how to move my mouse within the inch of space I have.
Yes.
Set your DPI way up. Nice.
All right. So we have 2 successes, 2 failures. Those who failed will be taking 1d6 sanity damage, and those who succeeded will be taking 1. This is from violence, so you may check the violence box.
I'm so lucky right now that my breaking point is 20 because I got so low before, but I've recovered so much. I'm still
Yes.
15 points away from it.
Cool.
Is that-
I'm adapted to violence now, whatever that
Hell
is.
You are immune to taking sanity loss from violence now. Shooting people doesn't make your brain do anything anymore.
That's
You're just a psychopath.
horrifying.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
legitimately
that also
not
happened-
a good thing.
I think that also happened to Hallow.
You guys are becoming psychopaths.
This is the perfect moment for it, though.
Yes.
Does-
Alright.
Oh no!
Question.
Oh,
Yes.
he's going all the way
Yeah, I
bonkers.
only had 2
Push it.
points left of
Push
my.
it, buddy, push it.
I'm gonna shunt it all off onto Mr. Barber the librarian.
You can certainly try,
Sweet.
but you're gonna need to roll a 4 to
Oh
prevent
boy.
escaping
Oh, boy.
the
All right.
thing. So I guess you're gonna
Oh,
meet it no matter
I
what.
like that Hallow didn't survive long enough to really experience that temporary insanity that he had.
True.
All right.
Um,
So I need to roll a 4 or better on D100.
So you roll a d4 and we see how much of that sanity loss gets projected, basically.
Gotcha.
I think either way though, you
So
were
I'm
2
still
away.
gonna go insane either.
You're still gonna go insane, yeah.
Does uh,
Classic.
Oh,
So
does losing 4 sanity cause temporary insanity?
4 does not, no. It's 5 or higher. So Hunter, let's handle this real quick before we move on to other questions. So you take 5 sanity damage. We'll skip the willpower damage for now because you just slept, so it doesn't make so much sense anyways. But you subtract 1 from a bond. Mark it as damaged.
Okay. Thank you.
Joanna had a question.
What condition is my body in right now?
Whatever it was in when you woke up this morning, so hungover and sick from sleeping medications and stuff, I believe.
Do I gain my hit points back?
Yes, everybody can refresh their willpower and hit points.
Okay, and I don't have to worry about getting shot in the abdomen and the fallout of that.
Nope,
I don't
only the
think Hallow
sanity
even
damage.
remembers getting his arm blown off. Really, he just remembers getting shot and passing out.
You may have a flash of it, but yeah, it's not like you were lingering
Yeah.
for a while.
Might have like a brief like, holy shit, okay, we're good. It's still there.
Yeah. So Liam,
I
you
did.
were projecting 4?
Yeah.
All right. Choose a bond.
Oh wait. Apparently they're all marked, so I can't, right?
Oh no, that's okay. You can keep damaging them. Delta
Oh.
Green lets you hurt your family as much as you want to.
Oh, goody.
It just means when they're marked, that just means you've done at least some damage to them, so we're going to want to catch up with them during the next home scene, basically.
Yeah, I need to catch up with all my bonds.
All right, any other questions on that step of our journey?
Nope.
No, just stop giving us impossible missions.
Well, just for that, another round of sanity checks. Not just for that, I had this planned anyways. Those weird drums and things were unnatural. You're rolling sanity versus unnatural.
Oh my god.
Classic. Let's go. Everybody fails. All right.
TPK.
TPK. This is 1d4 sanity damage.
Oh my god.
And I'm going to give you some extra information after you do your stuff. But yes.
I'm going to try to project that also.
I'm just going to take this damage.
Absolutely.
That's fine.
Good. Come on.
Oopsie daisy.
Well, I'm gonna have to project if I don't want to go insane.
Yes. Or get another
Paranoia.
breaking point. Yeah.
No, not breaking point, but I think the paranoia is if I lose 2 or more in one
Yes.
go, I get paranoid again.
That is correct. Until you can find a way to calm down, basically. Okay, so you project 4 away. So that
Good for
means you
you,
take
bad
none.
for your bond.
Correct. You take none. You don't actually subtract 4 from a bond. You just subtract 2, since that was the maximum of sanity you took, basically. You don't like waste more bond points by rolling over the sanity you took. So
Okay, what about willpower? Same deal?
same deal, 2 points. Well, no, I'm gonna reset willpower anyways, so don't worry about the willpower.
Okay.
Yeah, this is kind of all happening as you were like in the past, whatever, in the vision, in the other reality, in the whatever you want to call it. That's when all the sanity is taking place, and then you're waking up now with refreshed willpower after you lost the sanity and stuff. So
we can project more onto bonds today. Let's go.
Let's go. Yes, you basically have free will to just destroy your bonds today. Please do so.
Hunter doesn't, apparently.
True. Okay, everybody settled with that sanity loss stuff? We good?
Roll sanity again?
Not yet. But since you all failed, I was going to say everyone who failed sees a little more in that scene. Where you had seen like there's darkness and the strange drums and all of that kind of stuff. You also started to hear just at the end of it, right before you woke up, the drums are accompanied by echoing, blood-curdling screams all around you. Part of whatever absolutely fucked up song was playing. And you also realize, thinking about this song, thinking about how you've heard it before, you're starting to uncover memories. You're starting to realize that you've not just had 2 visions of the future. You're starting to see overlapping many versions of reality dating back years and years. You're realizing whatever this is, whatever you're stumbling into, has been going on for a long time. And you don't know what it is. And you don't know how to stop it. You don't know if you want to stop it. But all of you do find a little bit of reassurance, because through the powers of extreme violence, you've killed a couple aliens. So, as usual, for taking out a threat, you're going to potentially gain back some sanity here So everybody can roll me 2d6, and that's how much sanity you'll regain. An individual roll.
Oh, baby, we're basically right back where we started again.
Let's go.
I'm higher than where I started.
Yeah.
I'm still below my last breaking point.
Rip. Yeah, if you hit a breaking point and then went back over it, we'll still do the breaking point. But yes, if you're still under it, even either way, doesn't matter.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because like you would have hit the breaking point and then recovered afterwards, basically, and then just been really far from your next one. But yes. So let's figure out. Were you the only one to hit a breaking point? Anyone else?
I'm doing good so far.
I am nowhere near hitting my next breaking point.
Yeah, same. I have
All right.
20 to go.
So Hunter, I believe it was a violence roll that pushed you over the edge, which makes a lot of sense for you becoming a psychopath. And let's look at the list of potential options for hitting a breaking point from violence. We've got addiction, we've got depression, we've got intermittent explosive disorder. We've got
Didn't
lagirophobia.
already have that?
Intermittent explosive disorder is like you have sudden, uncontrollable fits of rage whenever you lose sanity, basically. Like you suddenly just think violence is a solution to every problem, which actually already does fit Hunter fairly well. We'll just
that's what I'm leaning toward right now.
Isn't that just kind of how he's been reacting this whole part
Pretty
of this
much.
mission?
But now
Yeah.
it's pathological.
Yeah.
There's also lagirophobia, the fear of loud noises, PTSD, sleep disorder. We've already gone over that one. Totemic compulsion, which is what High Tide has, I believe, or something similar. I think that's most of them. But yeah, the intermittent explosive disorder does make a lot of sense.
Yes, I would like to go with that one.
All right, I will DM you the mechanics for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was called. I just called it disorder flashlight fixation.
Oh yeah, we should figure out which one it actually is because it does matter. But I think it was totemic compulsion.
It was the one where if I don't have it, I go crazy.
Yeah, that would be totemic compulsion. So you fixate on an object present during the trauma. This is often a weapon or a piece of protective gear, whatever. If you think it's lost or it is lost or someone takes it or whatever, you have a -10 penalty to everything, basically. Even if you're just convinced it's lost. So I'll send that to you as well. So you can keep that for your records.
All right, I'm also going to ping the fugues message so that I can...
Yeah. So, now that we've settled everyone's sanity, everyone's new disorders and whatnot, how did your agents respond, starting with Hallow? And were you in a motel?
How was in a motel room, yeah. Because I think it was him, I think it was him, High Tide, and Hunter who were all at the hotel. It was
Yeah.
just
it was-
Hematite in her car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He calls Hematite because he saw her die and then he passed out. So his first instinct is make sure she's alive.
Let's jump down
This
to
time.
Hematite's reaction then, and then the call will happen after we hear Hematite's reaction.
Hematite is going to resolve to be pounding stimulants all day.
Okay. Classic. Yep.
And her first instinct is write everything down in the notebook again.
Okay, so you're starting to scribble things down when your phone rings.
I glance at it and see that it's one of the Delta Green folks, so I'll answer. Hematite?
Oh, good, you're still alive too. Huh.
I like the 2 added in there. It adds to
I
the
didn't.
absurdity.
Yeah, I passed out. The sheriff got me too.
Oh,
I don't know how the others are yet, but if you're still here and I'm still here, they're probably still here.
Yeah. I'm gonna be drinking energy drinks, and I vote for not talking to Scott Adams.
Yeah, we should not bring him. We should also meet up. The
Let's.
three of us are at the hotel.
I'm gonna go through the hospital stuff again, get Billy his keys. Oh wait, you wanted to search the truck.
Yeah, we need to search his truck. I'll get the guys. You're writing
Why don't you
everything down
guys-
again, right? You heard the screams and the drums?
That's for sure.
All right. Excuse me, sorry.
Yes, I keep records. You guys know that.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
gonna ask that you not try and look at them. Sound good?
Yeah.
It's mostly just to make sure that if we die, there's information for people.
For sure. I'm also thinking maybe we don't tell Derringer this time either.
Yeah.
It's a little late. It's already today again.
Yeah.
All right, I'll let you go. And I'll round up the other guys.
Sounds
We'll
good.
zoom out of.
I'll
Sorry.
wait at the hospital for you guys so that you can search the truck before I go in to get Billy keys.
Yep.
And we'll zoom out of that scene. How does High Tide wake up?
High Tide wakes up in a sweat,
Mm-hmm.
brings all of his belongings from the hotel room, goes into the little cafe that they have, and just puts as much food on the table as he can. Probably gets like 4 coffees, and is just scribbling notes in his notebook.
All right, and Hunter.
Hunter wakes up and just immediately cries for a long time.
Oh. Yeah, that's totally fair.
Then he is going to take a piece of paper and a pen, and he's just going to stare at the blank sheet for a very long time. And then he's going to realize he has nothing to write, and he's going to put the pen down. Then he's going to go get his truck, and he is going to just start driving toward the farm.
Oh. Okay.
So before anyone catches up with him, Hunter is gone.
Yes.
I love
Wait,
it. Thank you.
I thought the 3 of us were in Hello's car.
We were in my truck, I thought.
So your truck and my car are at the motel, I think.
that's
Oh,
right.
okay.
Yes, there's multiple cars involved. So you take your truck and go. I love this. Thank you for this gift. Okay, and then we'll end the episode there. But I want to check one more thing. Who's adapted to violence now? Is it most of you? I think it's most
Hunter
of you.
is.
Hallow is.
I think
Hallow's
is.
colder now.
Hematite is not.
I think you may have missed one. Because there was.
Sure, I reached a breaking point between them.
Oh, you have a new
Yeah.
breaking point
Like
from tonight.
in between last revival and this one, I crossed a breaking point.
No, I mean I think you had 3 instances of violence tonight.
Oh.
Because there was being ambushed by gunfire and then being shot are both 1, and then dying is a 3rd.
Okay. So yeah, I am adapted to violence.
Okay, so is that everyone? Is anyone not adapted?
So I have 2 check marks, and then I died,
Okay.
so that's the 3rd one, right?
Well, the second check mark might have been from dying. I'm trying to remember what the first one would have been from.
'Cause I don't think you got hit by anything, did you?
Yeah, you just kind of died to sickness.
I remember marking 1 tonight, and I think the second one was from some interaction with the police officer before waking
Maybe.
up the first time.
If
So
you
I've
have
had
not...
1 instance of violence at each of these.
Okay, have you reached a breaking point between the first and the second one?
No.
Okay, so then yes, you are also. It's a whole squad adapted to violence then. So y'all are psychopaths now. Keep that in mind when you roleplay. dealing violence and having violence, like the fear of violence, it no longer bothers you. You are not bothered in any way by killing or inflicting violence, and you really have no fear for your life now. Just keep
Ugh.
that in mind.
Splendid.
Yay! Woo! Thank you
I feel
all
like
for playing. Sorry.
I was gonna say, I feel like every time violence happens around me now, I'm just gonna have the image of like vomiting up black stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's now happened to me twice, and I was conscious for both of them.
Also,
Yeah.
interestingly, Hematite was dead. Hallow was passed out, basically about to die. The other two guys are still alive fighting the sheriff.
Yep.
It happened again.
It is
I
true.
swear
It's like
it's not scripted. I promise.
time is a flat circle. So time is soup. It's not scripted, I promise. Exactly. This is very true.
You scripted
And-
these notes.
Yes, it does honestly start to
These
make a little bit of
notes.
sense that your characters have essentially died and lived to tell the tale multiple times now. And just like, yeah, I imagine that would start to detach you from violence a little bit.
Yeah, death means less now because we've had it happen a few times, and we're all right. We're here.
Exactly.
There's clearly no consequences of any kind.
You just go back
It's
to
like-
checkpoint.
Our vibe has not shifted at all from
my God, we're
the beginning of
3-0.
this mission.
The last day, High Tide was already like, well, are we gonna have to kill Scott Adams? But now it's like, yo, he's in our way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of where Hallow was getting to. It's like, are we gonna have to like physically incapacitate this man, like knock
I
him out
think-
and lock him in the basement?
Well, yeah. This time around, we don't have to bring him.
Yeah. Well,
Can somebody
one of
make
us
a
is already
note
going.
that I was gonna search the truck.
Yes, I'll do that.
Yeah.
I did also want to like, Hunter had to drive Billy's truck. So I think the only car we have at the motel is Hallow's car.
Gosh, what? No, we left Billy's truck at the
We left Billy's
hospital.
truck at the hospital. Yeah.
Somebody took
Yeah.
me back to where my truck is.
Yeah, it was,
Well, that
Hallow.
That would have been in
Okay.
town, so it was already late enough, and I know we were just looking for lodging.
Yeah, I think the picking up of your truck happened after we reconvened in the morning.
Okay, so if I don't have my truck back yet, then I'm going to either walk or hitchhike there.
Get a bus, whatever.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, the Hunter just starts heading out with whatever means are available. I love it.
Because I remember
I mean,
we
I'm
were,
trying to
very-
get to my truck because I need the flamethrower,
Yes.
just to clarify.
Yeah,
It also is echoes of what happened to him the first time he saw one of those dogs. He just kind of set off into the fucking wilderness.
Excellent.
yeah, I remember it was the whole thing that we were like, are we sure we're just going to leave a truck with a flamethrower
Right.
in the town?
You are correct. Yes. All right. So we've got that straightened out then. Thank you all for playing this week. We'll pick
Thank
up
you very
next
much for
time.
hosting. This was
Yeah.
a wild session.
Yeah.
It went
I-
many directions.
I
Yes.
swear if we need to make another